Good afternoon, folks. Craig Lane here, day 20 of cleanse. Day 22, technically, but um, thank you for those of you who've been following along. I hope that if you end up watching this in the future, this was done in the fall, October of 2022, and there's a chance that some of this footage will end up going into the future and future 21-day video blogs and bits and pieces of it, or in the entirety of some of them. And on day 20, I'm going to go through a couple of things today. I'm going to go through a PowerPoint on the last week of a 3-week cleanse that I lead. And tomorrow I'll be going down intentions, and that will be the what I call the ending PowerPoint. When I do a cleanse presentation for the public, generally that's paid. There's an intro one that's a week before the cleanse. That's like week 0, I call it. And there's a week 1 presentation before week 1 starts, a week 2 before week 2 starts, a week 3 before week 3 starts. And then the closing one's usually on the last day or two, or after it ends, if it's not too long after. And that's generated me excellent results, because generally the pre-cleanse meeting gives all the exam parameters, and we check the sclera on the iris, and we check the tongue with a photograph. We take photographs of the eyes. We do blood pressure and pulses if I'm around. The blood pressure anybody can do, but the pulses, you have to at least know what you're doing a little bit. But if you can just at least measure, the overall strength of your pulse, and maybe even you might even get the differentiation of the 3 positions, the 3 finger positions, and feel what each of the top, bottom, middle, bottom pulses feel like. But nevertheless, today, I'm going to go through today just basically like this last one, and a little on the personal side. I'm going to continue with my cleanse supplements. I always do that. So I'm going to show you in a quick screenshot here what the supplements look like for me. So this is a schedule that's available to anyone. It's in the fall cleanse, say right there, fall cleanse supplements. That's my particular version. So the SP cleanse was always the first thing I do in a cleanse. Sometimes I follow up with it again, but it tends to encourage what they call phase 1 detox. And I really avoided that in this cleanse, going too technical, because I already overwhelm people. So you can think of it as the garbage in your house, in your bedroom, in your bathroom goes into the garbage cans. That's sort of first stage of detox. Then second stage would be those garbage cans in each room goes out to the garbage can on the outside of the house, and that gets full. That's phase 2 detox. And then you could say drainage. Some people say there's a phase 3, and depending on who you talk to on these liver detox pathways, I don't think they're pathways. I think they're just they're things that we conceptually have to understand, and we just name it such. So then the final, when the garbage truck comes, the garbage man comes, then your outside garbage can gets taken away. And that would be when you poop, when you pee, when you sweat. Breathing's a major source, saliva, all that. And then so when you get rashes or headaches or boils or tumors, then that's generally an excess of the garbage cans filling up, to very simply conceptually understand this. The radish, I finished my 1 bottle of radish. I've been eating a beeten radish salad. Have not been, my body's not been desiring too much cleanse. And I'm going to go into that tomorrow. But the detox chai I plan on having a shake every day. And that pea protein in it just does not agree with my, my particular protein metabolic type, blood type O. But I got another one I'm going to have tomorrow. I have cream in with it, and that seems to help, having more fat in with it. The organically bound minerals, I was on a product called Mintran, and I'm going to continue these. I take these pretty much irregardless if I'm cleansing, because it's seaweed and alfalfa juice concentrate, one of the single best mineral sources I've ever seen. I'm doing the psyllium and greens with the zeolite. That's not done. I'm on VRM3, and I'm doing 5 to 6 a day right now. And then I'll finish that and go through VRM4, and then I'll be done with the parasite work for this particular year. I'm going to do another one in the spring. The LB, I finished that. That's a beet fat enzyme, betaine hydrochloride, choline-based product, extra lipase in it. I find it helps my fat digestion. And I know my fat digestion is off. It's off because I call it steatorrhea, and you'll see a skid mark in the toilet. or the poop will float. And those are two kind of signs. A light colored stool is a bile blockage. And that's a really, these last two, Moore's methylation donor and energy are from Systemic Formulas. It's part of their cell program. I spent quite a few minutes talking about this in earlier, I don't remember which one, but earlier video blogs. You can look through the descriptions. I have Allerplex has been my colon-based product, and I am finishing up the liver and kidney products. The kidney one from Systemic Formulas smells like rose. There's rose oil in with it. So you can see that even though I'm ending my cleanse, I continue to take my cleanse supplements until they're gone. And I'm not going deep. I didn't go deep, and I understand why I didn't go deep, because my blood pressure was consistently falling. The only time it rose was when I was on right after I had some black tea yesterday, the day before, and it rose 10, 11, 12 points. The fact it could rise was a good sign. So that was the supplements part. Then this is in the email I'm sending out to my group. And see, poor gut health linked to lung function. So that's going to go out to my email and my group. And the lungs are connected to the colon. And this is from Biotics Research. If you're the original article, Biotics Research did this article, and I put it in my Google Drive. And it's just some of the proof. I tend to really want to prove that this is really real, like some of this stuff too, like this beautiful shot here of the lungs, really well done. But we're here for week 3. So I'm not going to talk about or through all these PowerPoints, because I'm going to go through this quickly. If you would like to go through the PowerPoint, you can watch the video on the YouTube channel. There's a large intestine cleanse, or you can pause and take screenshots, or just pause this video as you see fit. And I'll be talking about evaluation tomorrow. But yeah, you want to really keep an eye on that right there. Your colon is really the seat of a lot of lack of ease, because we get stuck in these eddies. And last night's talk was fantastic for that, by the way. Last night, the community dinner talk, which was also Tim King, guest speaker. So last night's talk, we did a lot of talk about the rhythm of the taking in and the letting go. So see, week 3 is rebuild and nourish while still keeping the pathways open, ideally. And this went into the email. Worth thinking about, especially dead chemicals made in a lab. Life produces vital amines. It does not produce chemicals. We're going to go through the toxic stress cycle in a minute here. I will be talking about that. Believing the stories our mind says, identifying with emotions, not being able to discern feeling versus emotion is a really, really deep, subtle thing. And that's kind of where the world is. Feeling versus emotion. Emotion tends to carry us away, energy and motion, but feeling is more of a sensation that we can try to work with. See, emotion is a reaction in your being to a thought or experience. It's a carbon copy, but it's felt. Feeling is pure, passing like a cloud on the sky. Rilke has a poem about that. I didn't remember what it was. This is from years ago, but watch that video blog if you want to see the Rilke poem. These are all the things that how we choose, how we prep, how we chew determines how well we digest. This is a food list. We've been talking about this all the way along. This is an earlier list, but you're welcome to use this list too. We're trying to produce energy from food with the minimum of waste. And so when you have gas, that's waste. So this is the toxic stress cycle. If digestion generates too much waste, then the liver's filters and the waste management system's impaired, then the kidneys have to do more. Because the kidneys are dealing with that toxic water, if you will. The kidneys are also filters. So if they can't handle the load, then the lungs suffer. If the lungs can't handle the load, then the blood and the lymph get thick and sludgy. circulation gets poor, we get hemorrhoids, varicose veins, blah, blah, blah. Then the spleen gets affected, then the heart, then the muscles. And then there's more symptoms here. You're talking about rheumatoid arthritis, you're talking about heart issues, high blood pressure, osteoarthritis even. Then the spine and the nerves are affected. They begin to harden and stiffen. And then the endocrine organs don't work and inter-body communications suffer. And the cycle repeats itself because the chooser, what I call my first foundation of health, is impaired. The way out of it, you're doing it if you're cleansing. And there's a Rumi poem here that's really, I'm not going to read it. And then that's the evaluation. So we'll finish that up next week. And then the ending PowerPoint, which I'll go through a little more tomorrow, but there was a couple of slides on here I wanted to focus on today. Some really good stuff in here. Some of it's from Standard Process. And it's the foods that continue, all this stuff you're looking at quickly. Okay. These are the things that if you're going to leave any of these out, you might start cleansing if you do them regularly. The only hard alcohol, like I tolerate tequila. I don't seem to have that hard of a time with it. But all the rest of that, yeah, refined salt, I do terribly with. Refined sugar and flour, not that horrible. Commercial animal foods. And so most of that for me is off limits because you're producing a lot of waste when you put that into your body. So your body's putting in 10 units of energy and getting back 1, or it's getting back negative energy, meaning it's causing inflammation and damage. So that's an important slide right there. Your body's made up of about, maybe there's even more than that, 60 trillion cells, and they all have individual personalities to some degree. That's right. And see, this is the sludge that leaves the body. So this is the process I went through. You take your clay, starts working on this toxic biofilm. You see here, we can actually blow this up one size bigger. And the small and the large intestines, you have different folds in them. And then you see the stuff starts to bind up and starts to carry it out. And then your individual cells, you want like the guy on the left in your enterocytes here, those are the individual cells. That's how they're born. And then that's the bigger view of what they're on. And that's worthy of reading too. That'll be in tomorrow's also. So today, that was kind of it for today. Not going too deep into most of this, just a little bit of like, ending for me. The big intention was, I wanted to be clearer, wanted to be able to be a better person, wanted to be able to create a better world. And so that's sort of the theme right now. And in our talk last night, we had a small group for the community dinner. And that was generally agreed upon is, we're just trying to create a world that we can all live together in. And health is wholeness. And so each of us is responsible for our own health. I'm not responsible for your health. This whole thing with pandemics and whatnot, even that is just handled so poorly. Pandemic, even in a pandemic situation, there are people around that, like myself, that, I wouldn't end up worrying at all about it because the plants are generally what's going to get us out of it. And seen terrible poisons. Even a master in Autobiography of a Yogi, he took an elephant tranquilizer that would have wiped out like 100 men, apparently. I don't remember the exact amount, the number, but he was proving a point to that this world's an illusion. So, he shot himself up and the guy's like, you're gonna die, you're gonna die. He's like, no. And nothing even happened to the guy. No pain, didn't pass out, didn't die. So that's like, this alchemy thing is what we're not talking about in the processes of life. And I still get these glazed-eyed looks even from my colleagues about, this is a process going up. If you take a photograph halfway through, that's not the process. And chemistry is a snapshot of processes going on in life. And science is measurements and still images and cadavers in medical school. I was studying cadavers myself, and it's dead. And we're studying death. And I spent my last 35 years studying life. How do plants grow? How do wounds heal? How does my broken neck heal? How does the psyche heal? And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, is because I'm doing it. I mean, it's a Jesus thing. I'm doing it because it's my dharma, and only I can live it, and only I'm the one that can offer this. And I was kept alive to offer this at age 57. So bless you all for, if you're watching this, bless you. If you're a subscriber, please share. The call to action is yourself, and so join the call to action of Health Alchemy, private membership association, which appears publicly as something else, but we're still working on this infrastructure called USA Incorporated, and we're getting there, folks. The rest of you around the world, we're working on it. Go hard.